was going to wear my pigeon dunks today, but decided against it. But this young man is successful in his own right as a designer, as an entrepreneur, and he's going to lead the discussion today, Jeff Staple.
What's up, everyone? Thank you. Wow, we got a good house here. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. And so, without further ado, let's bring out Big Sean.
What up, Carl? Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Wayne State? What's up, y'all good? What's up, player? How's
What
it
up?
going?
Good.
Good.
How's it feel to be home?
Man, it feels like being home. It's the best thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? My mom right there in the front.
What's dope is that it sounds like you still vividly remember the times and the experiences that you went through to get here.
Oh, hell yeah. Man, one of the things I learned is that you can lose something twice as fast as you got it. So there's no point in, like, you know, flashing it around or burning unnecessary bridges, man. So, you know, I guess you could say I'm a humble dude, but I'm not humble because you're supposed to be humble. You know, I'm humble because that's just how I was brought up and that's just who I am. You know, that's how I always been before I had anything.
Word.
And, you know, it's some people who are completely different, and some people who act completely different, and it's some people who try and be humble because they know it's the right thing to do, but you know, if you take everything away from me, I'm still gonna be that same dude, whether the camera's on or off.
It's the same.
You know, it's the same thing, man. I've seen some of the best times of my life, and I've been exhausted. I've worked 24 hours a day before, and you know, it's better than doing something that I wouldn't want to do. And one of the things I also learned was that the journey is the most important part, as opposed to the payoff or what you're doing it for, man. It's the things you learn, the things that make you into that man or into that woman are priceless times, and they're gonna create your character. They're gonna mold you into the person you wanna be and the person you need to be, you know, so.
Yeah,
sure.
I think the most important thing you just said was exactly true. Like, it's better to work 24 hours a day at something you love to do than 1 hour a day at something you hate doing.
You can't ever think that anything is too unbelievable. I feel like that's one of the main mistakes that people make, you know, when they set goals out. They be like, yeah, I want to be an actress. But being an actress is so damn hard. I can't do this, you know. I can't move to LA. What am I thinking? I can't do it, you know.
Yeah.
And they cancel that idea right then. And, you know, I remember being in 5th grade telling the teacher I wanted to be a rapper, sign a Def Jam. And they looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about, you know? But I always knew, and like I said, I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I remember riding to school every day with my best friend Tone, and we used to like always talk about, yo, when we sell out the Palace, or when we perform at the Palace, you know.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how it was gonna happen, but you know, I never canceled it out though, ever. When I was younger, my grandma and my mom, they sent me to a school in Indian Village called the Detroit Waldorf School, just right like by Belle Isle. And they were a school that specialized in, like, you know, they were very artistic.
Yeah.
For instance, like, they didn't give us textbooks, they would teach us the information in textbooks. We had to write it ourselves, draw our own pictures to it. We had to recite poems every morning. You know, it was like weird, you know, we took like German and Spanish for like 6 years, both of them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Played a couple different instruments. But it's crazy because that prepared me for so much. You know, I didn't realize, it taught me how to think faster, it taught me how to rhyme words more.
Sometimes I always think about like skills versus hard work. And for your
Well, it isn't about how hard you work, it's about how smart you work.
Oh, go on. Go on, what's the difference?
No, I mean, you know, there's some people who are billionaires, who are multi-millionaires, who are, or whatever you consider success, that are happy, that work a couple hours a day, if that, you know? And there's some people who work 15 hours a day who are depressed or who are angry and who are in debt, you know? And it's not a measurement of how hard you work. And that's something I've learned, that, you know, it's all about what you believe. Anything that you believe, if you believe that you can be successful and not work that much and have an easy life, then you probably can be successful. and not work that much and have an easy life. And you know, it's just all about your mindset, man. And a lot of people who aren't in the place that they want to be in is because of themselves. You know,
Yeah.
I realize there's nobody else holding you back but yourself. How you think, what you think about.
Yeah.
You know. On my first album, I was coming from the perspective of wanting to be famous, you know, wanting to be on, wanting to like buy a Rolex and, you know, wanting to have this girl and do all these different things. But then, you know, after I went on my first tour and kids were coming up to me like, yo, you my hero, man. I listen to everything you say, man. Like, I was like, oh shit, man, I gotta say something good or worth saying. And you know, and when I really looked at it and stepped back and stepped out of my situation and I looked at the artists that I do admire, you know, from James Brown to Marvin Gaye to Jay-Z to Kanye West, they all stood for something that meant something. So I wanted to make sure I stood for something. So when I look back, I don't wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda did anything. Or when I look back, you know, I could be proud, my family could be proud, my city could be proud, my grandma could be proud, my mom could be proud.
Word.
You know, I'm just want to let people know that it's cool to be who you are. You know, when I was in high school, I was always trying to like put a facade on, and I wasted so much time trying to put a facade on or trying to be hard, when really I should have just been focusing on what I wanted to do.
I wanted to talk a little about fame now. You know?
I think I suck sometimes at like being a celebrity or being famous, because I don't know, I talk too much, or you know, I make the wrong moves, or I go places I probably shouldn't be sometimes. But you know, I feel like you can't live your life based off what people think or you know, things like that, man. I just do me, and I do what makes me happy, you feel me? And it is an adjustment, but you know, I never get angry to the point where I'm like, you know, about to fight any paparazzi or do any crazy things like that, feel me? So it's just like, but it's
What do you
just,
mean by that though? Like you suck at being a celebrity?
I don't know, it's just like, you know, I'm just honest. I don't know if I suck at being a celebrity, you know what I'm saying? That's just my personal thought. I feel like, you know, I just try and be real. I'm not Hollywood. I'm not somebody who, you know, try and puts a facade up or just says whatever to be politically right. I'll just say how I feel and do what I feel and, you know, eat what I feel or go out. You know, I can't eat caviar, man. I'm not into that type of shit, you know? I'm not, there's certain things I like and I don't like.
If you could go back in a time machine and talk to yourself as a youngin', as a young teenager, what advice would you give him? From what you've learned.
You know, I thought about that before. You know, I used to be like, I go back and be like, yo, man,
what would you say?
Don't stress so much, man. Chill out, like, you know, relax. But, you know, all those things made me who I am. If you don't learn from your mistakes, if you don't let your mistakes be your teachers, then, you know, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth going through those times. So you gotta experience, you know, failing you know, whatever you go through, you have to experience and just know you're supposed to go through it, whether you're at the top, whether you're at the bottom, and you gotta learn from it. You gotta let your, like, you know, your tough times be your teachers. Yeah.
It's almost better to just let you go through them. It makes you the man who you are today, right?
Yeah, even though that shit sucks sometimes, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, what is one thing that Detroit has taught you that you don't think any other city could have taught you?
I can't speak for any other city, but Detroit, of course, taught me that no matter how crazy the times are, we always gotta pull through, we gotta hustle, we gotta make it happen. That's one of the things I learned. You know, what else did the city teach me? I don't know, the city gave me morals. It taught me to be the person I am, and you know, it's a hard city to make it out of to earn respect. And one thing I love about Detroit is that you gotta earn their respect here. You know, they're not gonna give it to you. So, you know, those are just a couple things, man. It taught me to be the man I am.